Good day. Welcome to the Comox Fire Station. I'm Assistant Chief Jim LaRiviere, and we're going to talk about fire safety using the hazard house. Well, as you can see, this is a house much like a lot of other homes, and it's cut in half so you can see inside. And we also have a garage attached to it, and we also have a kitchen, separate kitchen that we can show you something later. So we're going to start with the top part, and again, it's all about fire safety and what it can look like and what it should look like. So for example, up here in the attic, we have two sides. The side on the right here is untidy. It's got some electrical hazard issues. So that's a potential to have a fire. On the other side is what it should look like. Nice and neat with the electrical system in good repair. So again, it should look like that on there. We move down to the bathroom. And of course, there's a couple of hazards here. On the toilet, there's a curling iron sitting on top of a towel. And again, as you can see from the heat, somebody left it on, it's already starting to cause some fire and smoke. So that could be an issue. Plus, there's nobody around to see that. The other hazard in the bathroom is there's a hairdryer sitting on the sink. The sink happens to be filled with water. It's not really a fire hazard, but it's more of an electrical shock hazard. So again, there's a couple of things you need to take care of in that room. And this is what it should look like when it's not got those hazards. You can see no curling iron on the toilet with no towel, and there is no hairdryer on the sink. Okay, our next room is this little boy's room. Now, a couple of things wrong here. Well, you notice he does have a smoke alarm, and that's required now in new buildings. And in this room, of course, he had candles. And candles, it's not that you can't use candles, but they should be in a really solid base, and you should be awake or in the room when they're being used. In this case, they're just sitting on top of some books on a bookshelf, and he's sleeping. And of course, the cats like playing with things, and the cat is playing with the batting at the candle, and he's knocked some things down, some of the candles down, and started a fire down on the floor. So again, you can see a hazard with that. Now, of course, that's what we would like to see. You can have a cat, just no candles, okay? So if that had caught fire, he would have to leave his room, feel the door with the back of his hand. If it wasn't too hot, he would start heading down the hallway. Now, chances are, since the fire was in his room, that'll be the problem. It should be okay out in the hallway. And then in the next room over here is his mom. Of course, she's got a working smoke alarm in her bedroom too. But problem with her, she's doing something that's not fire safe. She's smoking in bed. And again, the problem with smoking in bed is people often fall asleep smoking in bed, and it could cause a fire. What she would need to do in that case is get out of bed. And again, if she couldn't get out to the hallway because of the fire or smoke, her and her son could probably use their escape ladder here. Okay? But having said that, if they can get out to the hallway, that's fine. So let's say they get to the hallway. And here's the hallway. This is the top hallway. It's got a smoke alarm at the top of the stairs. And you could have fire on both. And of course, it'll set off the smoke alarm. And you can see with smoke and the flame and the loud noise of the smoke alarm, it's going to be kind of confusing trying to get down those stairs. So that's probably not safe. And you should make your way back and go out the window where the escape ladder is. Okay, and I'm just going to turn that off, but you can see the smoke, and it will normally stay up here if that's where the fire started, but it could be also down here, and we'll get to that in a minute here. Now we're down here, and I just want to switch over to the kitchen for a minute here. So we're finished with the second floor, and here's the kitchen. A couple of things of neat to see is that they have a telephone they could call 911 with. They also have their fire plan all drawn out on the fridge. Hopefully they've practiced that, and they know that when they were upstairs on the second floor, they knew that if the door was too hot, they could go out their escape ladders on out their bedroom windows, or they can make their way down if there wasn't too much smoke or it was too hot down to the stairwell. But some of the hazards in the kitchen is that you can have a fire start on the stovetop. We'll cover that in detail on the big stove in a bit. What you're supposed to do in those instances is, of course, call 911, but you should also try to take your oven mitts, which here are on the stove front, and take the top, the pot top, put it on, turn off the stove, and remove the pot from the stove. We'll do that on the big one here in a bit. Over here to the living room, okay, we've got somebody else smoking. This family does smoke. He's fallen asleep in the chair, and again, there's the hazard of causing a fire in there. So again, he would have to do, of course, some homes have sprinklers. Does anybody know what a sprinkler system is? Just like a device up in the ceiling that will spray water down. Not many homes have them. This home happened to have one. But he would have to make his way out as well, crawling out to this other way out. And that other way out would be in the fire safety plan. Of course, what he shouldn't be doing is smoking. He can sleep in the chair, he just can't smoke. So here in the down at the bottom of the stairs, there's a little workstation for the boy's upstairs brother. And again, he's working there. He's working on some papers and stuff like that. And you can see that he's got candles. So they like candles in his house. It's not too bad of an issue with having candles here. But again, they're not in that solid base where they won't tip over. So the problem with that is that he could knock that over, and with all the different things around, that could catch fire, and that'll be an issue. And again, there you can get again, there could be fire going. And of course, the smoke alarm will probably go off. So when that happens, because he's already awake, this is a lot better than when you're sleeping, he'll know to either go out through to the garage and see if he can get out that way, if that's not a problem, or go back to this door in the living room. So whatever's in their escape or their fire safety plan on the fridge, that's what they should use. Okay, so we're finished with the house now. And again, this is the garage. Some garages are attached to the house, so you just go out of the house through a door into the garage. Some garages are what we call detached. They're away from the house. But either way, there's some issues here. This one is attached to this house. So there's also a laundry room in here. The furnace to heat the house is in here. The hot water tank is in here to heat the hot water, and they use it for storage. So the dryer, when you dry a load of clothes and this is probably the big people in your house, but there's a thing called a lint trap. And what it does is collects lint or from the clothing and so that you can clean it out so it doesn't go into the ductwork. The problem with that is you don't keep it clean. It could cause a problem with the ductwork. So having said that, this is what could happen with a dryer fire. In this case, there may not be anybody in the garage. They don't normally have smoke alarms in the garage, so you got to be really careful with that. So that's what could happen if people aren't cleaning out the lint traps in their dryers. Some of the other things that are in here are hazards that, sitting there right now, aren't causing any problems. There's a fire extinguisher there. That's a good thing. So that's not causing any problems. But that big red fuel can, that much fuel stored in your garage can be an issue. And same with all those bottles of paint and oils that are beside it. Plus, there's a propane barbecue inside. It's not a problem with the barbecue being stored in your garage, but it is the propane. So the neat thing about that, all that stuff can go in this shed that's out here, and that's away from the house. So that won't be an issue with the house. Okay, now we're finished with the house, and now I told you earlier that we would show you the actual larger version of what a problem in the kitchen was with the kitchen stovetop. Again, you look around here, this here has a paper towel rack over here, and that could be a problem if it's too close to the stove. And different things like here's a frying pan, not always fire safety, but you try to keep the handles turned in like that. And I know that at your age you shouldn't be cooking, but you may, one day you will be cooking. And then, and the big people in your house, they're cooking, and if they're doing something that you think might not be safe, you can certainly help tell them what to do there. So we'll just say this is our pots on, and I'm going to turn it on so you can see the fire. This is a fake fire, okay? So this is what you would do is if there was a fire, again, once you're older, or if the big people in your house are doing this. First thing you do is you take some oven mitts, take a pot top, and put it on. Because what you're doing there is you're taking away the air. Fire likes air. So the next thing you do is you turn off the stove. And then you take the pot off. And we're done. And that takes care of the problem. Again, this is a tool that you can use when you're out on your own and cooking and you get older, or the big people in your house, you could let them know, just in case they weren't aware of that. So anyway, that's it for our hazard house. Thank you for spending your time with us, and we'll see you around the fire station sometime. Thank you.